Is he rich like me? Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? D-Red. Is he rich like me? Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? D-Red. Is he rich like me? Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? D-Red. Is he rich like me? Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? D-Red. Is he rich like me?
No Kings protests all over America. All right. Donald Trump fulfilling prophecy. Isaiah 19 and 4. All right. A cruel Lord shall rule over them. And all these Edomites voted him in, but look at them now. They're crying. They are crying, literally crying. Okay? They're really crying and protesting. All right? They protesting big time. Ain't that something? But yet, did they care about us when they did this? Did they care about the children of Israel? No. Shalom, shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rikakwadash. Peace and blessing to the hopeful elect, and double honors to the elders of Great Millstone. Today's lesson is entitled, A Fierce King Brings the End of America. All right? A fierce king brings the end of America. And you've seen the videos, the intro. One is a live video of Maryland, the protest, the No Kings protest, and the rest are showing you that there are protests all over the earth. And this is just as prophesied by Yahushua. Luke 21, 9 through 11. But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must come to pass, but the end is not by and by. Then said he unto them, Nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilence, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. So this No King's March is just is another sign of Yahushua. All right, these protests. All right, these commotions. All right, as it states in verse 9. Okay. All right. Let's go to second Esdras, chapter 9. Let's get that real quick. Second Esdras, chapter 9, and verses. Let me get my apocrypha here. Second Esdras, chapter 9, and verses 1. He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, and that's what we were seeing this weekend, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. So the Lord told us that these things would happen. He prophesied to us, the Lord Yahushua, about these things, these commotions that will happen. For like as all that is made in the world has a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings in events and signs. Okay, so all these things will come in the earth, okay, uh, during these last days. All right, and this No King's March is no different. Okay, all right. So there are protests all over America. The ruling class Caucasians, all right, the so-called white man, which are biblically the Edomites of the Bible, okay, is the descendants of Esau, Edom, the Edomites. And the protests they're doing is based upon the president that they elected. Okay, all right, and all of these, and they accepted all the policies coming from the president, all the policies. Okay, Project 2025. When you look at Project 2025, okay, it was built upon making America white again. All right. It brought in, what did he do? He brought in the South African whites, and he's removing the brown people, the people of color, right? Removing all illegal immigrants, non-whites. All right. What did they do? They also voted to remove the civil rights from the so-called African American. All right. All right. The removal of the history of slavery from the museums. Okay. They voted to take away government contracts and DEI so the Negroes could not acquire government jobs. All right. So DJ Trumpet, all right, stated no more recruiting African Americans to the U.S. military. He stated that too. Okay. All right. And they also said that they couldn't wear beards in the military. All right. And a lot of so-called Negro have a problem shaving. We have a problem shaving because we ain't supposed to shave. All right. It's biblical. Right. Now, when they discover that their king, DJ Trumpet, is affecting their lives, okay, the so-called white man and other nations, right? Now they come out in droves, okay, protesting, right? All right, let's go to Isaiah chapter 19, and this is the what the lesson is based upon. All right, because it is spiritual. Okay, even the public is calling him. I don't know who came up with the phrase. All right, the No Kings Rally. All right, this is spiritual. It's biblical. All right, and let's read about it. Isaiah 19:4. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord. All right, that is DJ Trumpet. And a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts. So you see that? Okay. So the Bible is a real book. Okay. And the prophecies in it all are coming to pass during our lifetime. Isaiah 55 and 11 tells you that none of these prophecies are going to fail. Okay. All right. It says, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. So none of the words are going to come forth void. That the Lord, when the Lord put the Spirit on his men to speak these words in the ancient world, all of these words are going to come to pass in our day. Okay? That's what you have to understand. Okay? Let's go to Ecclesiastes 3 and 15. Ecclesiastes 3 and 15, which bears this out. All right. That which has been is now, and that which is to be has already been, and the Most High required that which is past. All right. So the Lord is bringing forth the prophecies. All right. And that's how we know that we're at the end times. All right. That we're at the end of an age, the end of the rulership and dominion of Esau, Edom. Okay. The so-called white man. All right. His people now they're coming forth left and right saying that he's not Esau. He's not Esau. But the Lord said that he would be ruling at the end of an age, at the end of the age. He will be in power. All right, let's get that real quick. All right, that's 2nd Esdras 11 and 39. I think that's what it is. All right. All right. It says, Art not thou it that remainest of the four beasts? The four beasts would be the Babylonians, the Persians and the Medes, the Greeks, and then the Romans. All right. The ancient Greco-Roman Empire fell, right? But it was revised and it came back into power. The deadly wound was healed, all right? And the Lord took gave them back their power in the 1300s, and the so-called white man was raised back up. Before that, the so-called Negroes were ruling in Europe, okay? They were ruling in Europe till the 1300s, and then they took them down, and that's how we ended up. They put up all the so-called Negro from Europe, all right, and in the Americas in slavery, okay, in servitude, all right? That's what happened, okay? All right? So who is ruling today is the same people that was ruling as the Roman Empire before, all right? The Greco-Romans is the so-called Edomite, the white man, so-called white man, all right? He is the one that's that's causing all the hell that's going on today, all right? Because he is the devil. The Lord wrote him as the devil. The Bible speaks of, okay, all right. The Bible is written in code, okay, and in the way you decipher it, the Lord has to put the spirit on you of understanding in order to break it down, okay. Other than that, you will be blinded to these facts, all right. When we go here to Psalms, the Lord lists, you know, for all you who are saying that he's not the enemy of the Israelites, okay, then who is this talking about? All right. I know I'm going off topic, but Psalms 83 verses 1 and we'll read verses 2. All right. This is Psalm of Asaph. Asaph was a prophet. Okay. That means that the Lord was dealing with him, sending him visions and speaking through him. All right. Now we'll go ahead and read this. It says, keep not thou silence, O power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult. Asaph was an Israelite, okay? All right? So it would be the enemies of the Israelites. You get what I'm saying? For lo, thine enemies make a tumult. They will be enemies of the Israelites. Get it? And they that hate thee have lifted up thy head. That will be the heathen, right? The non-Israelites. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. So the Lord gave him a vision of the future that we at some point will be hidden. How were we hidden? We were hidden in servitude, in captivity. We lost our heritage being amongst the heathen. So we became heathens. And that's what a lot of people can't get. All right. All right. They can't differentiate from the heathens and the strangers and the Gentiles. They can't really differentiate. It takes the Holy Spirit to do it. All right. All right. You have the Gentiles, the natural Gentiles, and which is listed in Genesis 10 and 2. And you have the Gentile foreigners, which are the Israelites, because the Lord cast us out of his sight. Okay. From the land. And we had to serve the enemy. Okay. which is in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, I think the 48th verse. Okay, verse 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Who did this? Who said we wanted to cut the Israelites off? Okay, all right. All right, you have to understand that, get this in your head. The other nations plotted together, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, which means they got amongst each other and made a decision that they were going to cut off these Israelites. Why? Because we had King David beat them down and had them in subjection. All right, the same way that Esau, Edom, has all the nations in subjection today by his great military and army. Okay, King David did the same thing, and that's what Yahushua, the Savior, is coming back to do, to put these nations back in their place, their rightful place under Israel. Do you understand? It's not nothing. This is what the Lord planned this whole time. This is what the Bible was written for, in order to bring Israel back to the house of David. The house of David will be rebuilt. Okay, all right, and the rulers, the Israelites, the elect from amongst of Israel, all right, that was cast away, would rule the earth. Okay, the elect from amongst them. Okay, the elect spirits. All right, okay. If you can understand that, the spirits of the prophets and so forth, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. These other nations rule over us. All right, you have the Chinese. They have their own stores. They have their hair stores. They sell to us. We have the Ishmaelites, which are the Arabs. They sell stuff to us. The Moab, the Chinese, the Egyptians, all of the other nations rule over us. All right. All right. But the Lord put a seal upon us, a curse, so that we wouldn't rise above them. You understand? The same way he did Esau, Edom in the dark ages. He put a curse and a seal upon them so they would not rise over the so-called Negroes that were ruling, the Moors and the Negroes. They were just Negroes. Moor is another name for a Negro. All right. Black. All right. Get it? All right. It was Israelites. Okay. So this is the story. The Lord is going to set up the Israelites over Esau. That's the way he set the world up to be. It's his movie. All right. So verse 6. Who was the enemies of the Israelites? The tabernacles of Edom. Okay. Who is Edom today? They are the current rulers today. All right. They're the current rulers. Get that in your head. They are the current rulers of today. All right. The new revised Roman Empire. All right. Okay. Babylon the Great, who have the children of Israel in captivity. You understand? It doesn't matter what trinkets that they have given us. This is the way the Lord looks at it. Okay? Oh, I got a good job. That's what a lot of y'all Negroes think. Oh, I got a good job. They're not half bad, man. It don't matter. The Lord still set them up to be the wicked. He still set them up to be hated. You understand? All right, get it. Get it through your head. You have to understand it. What is written is written. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and Hagarenes, Gabal, Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. All of those people conspired against you, you Israelites. Okay, they conspired to keep you down. All right. Okay, so Edom, the tabernacles of Edom, they're the ringleader. Are they not the ringleader today? Are not the white man the ringleader? He called the shots. You know what? Everybody's going to wear masks. Did not everybody wear masks? Oh, yeah. He called the shot. People did it around the world. Do you understand that? Okay, that's the kind of power they have in the earth. Okay, the Ishmaelites don't have that kind of power. The The Chinese Moabites don't have that kind of power. The Egyptians, the Hagarenes don't have that kind of power. The Gabal, the Africans don't have that kind of power. Who do they follow? They follow Esau, Edom. Right to this day, we getting ready to get a digital currency. A digital ID will be handed out real soon, enforced by Esau, Edom. And all the other nations that are on this list are going to be right behind them. Africa's already signed on. Okay? They've already signed. You already know the Arabs going to sign on, the Ishmaelites. You understand? That's what you got to understand. Esau, Edom is the leader in the world. He's the ruler. So that's what the Lord is talking about. All right? Okay? He is the hated of the Lord. Okay? Because he is the devil. But the Lord set him up to be the devil. Understand? All right? For all y'all out here who are crying, oh, why y'all hate the white man? No, the Lord set him up to be the wicked in the earth. You understand? This is how the movie is going to end. 2nd Esdras 6 and 7. The movie is going to end like this. All right? 2nd Esdras 6 and 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of times? All right, when will this age end? When will they stop ruling the earth? When will the kingdom of heaven come in? That's what our ancestors wanted to know. Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And the answer was given. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. Why was the heel held? Because we would pull them down out of rulership. How? By prophesying on the highways and the byways against the nation of America, Babylon the Great, and the world, and against them specifically, and identifying them as the wicked. For Esau is the end of the world. You hear that? Esau is the end of the world. Who's ruling the earth now? The Caucasian so-called white man. We both know that. In England and in Europe and here in America. They control all these nations. Mexico, they put that lady in office. Okay? What is she doing? She's going to be kicking out a digital ID, and it's going to be mandatory. Why? Because the so-called white man told her to do it. You understand? So hopefully this is getting through your head. They rule the earth. For Esau is the end of the world, and who gonna rule next? And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And a lot of you Negroes out there don't want this to happen, okay? But it ain't up to you. It's already written, okay? So I just threw with my rant there. But yeah, because of they're out here protesting because of what policies that the cruel Lord is bringing forth. All right. But this is only the reason for this happening is because they know they only have a short time to rule the earth. Revelation, Salakia, Revelation chapter 12 and 12. They know that they only have a short time. Okay. Okay. So that's the reason why they're subduing Jacob mainly. Okay, they're coming after the Negroes now. They were coming after the Latinos because they Israelites too. The Israelites is amongst them. We're not saying all of them. We're saying amongst the Negro, amongst the Latino. Okay, amongst the Jamaicans, amongst the Haitians, amongst the Dominicans. Okay, all those lands in which Esau conquered and colonized. Okay, that's what we're saying. Amongst them is the elect of Israel. Lord ain't saving everybody. Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. This is what's happening. The heavens are rejoicing. Who are the heavens? The heavens are the Israelites, the prophets of the Lord. We're rejoicing. Why? Because the prophecies are coming to pass. Right? Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea. Okay, that's the other nations and the people. For the devil, all right, the devil's not a red spandex sword with a pitchfork, right? Hopefully you figured that out. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he has but a short time. Okay? So when you identify the so-called white man as the devil, you can say now that he has a short time. A short time for what? Rulership in the earth. That's why. So what do? They know this. You fools just don't know it. Okay? So they say, you know what? Let's get the troops out here. Let's subdue these Negroes. Let's take down all their heritage. Okay, they're going through, they're gutting the museums, everything they stand for. We gotta root out the this slavery business. You understand? Okay. So my question is, why in the hell are you defending them? Okay, we're trying to give you understanding here. All right. All right. But only the elect is going to get it anyway. They the only ones going to get it. The rest is going to be blinded. Romans 11 and verses 7. All right. What then? Israel had not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded. Okay. The rest were blinded. Okay, and we'll continue to read on. According as it is written, the Most High has given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear unto this day. And David saith, let their table be made a snare. The table is the Bible. All right. Let their table be made a snare, and a trap, and a stumbling block, and a recompense unto them. Let their eyes be darkened, that they may not see, and bow down their back always. Bow down your back to this system. Okay. All right. You don't want to believe the prophets of the Lord, then you're going to bow down your back to this system. You're going to be on the side of Esau, Edom. You understand? And the Lord is going to destroy you. That the Lord, King David prayed against you wicked Negroes out there, Native Americans, Hispanics, you of the tribes. All right. So this is what's going on. Okay. Not all Israel is going to get this truth. They're not going to get the understanding. But the elect will. Okay. All right. Psalms chapter 9 and verses Psalms chapter 7. Psalms chapter 7. Move this over here. 7 verses 9. Oh, let the wickedness of the wicked come to an end, but establish the just, for the righteous power trieth the hearts and reins. My defense is of the Most High, which saveth the upright in heart. The Most High judges the righteous, and the Most High is angry with the wicked every day. If he turn not, he will whet his sword. He has bent his bow and made it ready. He has also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordained his arrows against the persecutors. All right. So the Lord is going to allow for World War III to be fought. The arrows are going to be launched. That's the modern day arrows are the nuclear missiles. Behold, he travaileth with iniquity and has conceived mischief. That's what they're doing now. They're conceiving mischief. You know what? We're taking away the food stamps. We're taking away the Medicaid, the Social Security. Okay. And have conceived mischief and brought forth falsehood, lies. Okay. All right. Okay. They told all those people, the so-called white people were deceived. They thought nothing would affect them. Okay. And so-called Northern Kingdom, these Latinos, they thought they was white. All right. They thought they weren't going to be affected. All right. But that's what happens. He said, it has conceived mischief and brought forth falsehood. Okay. You see that in verse 14. Okay. But this is what's going to happen. He made a pit and digged it, and is fallen into the ditch which he made. That's what's coming. His mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealings. All right, they murdered the Native Americans, the so-called Negroes. They're bombing the Palestinians, and his violent dealings shall come down upon his own pate. All right, I will praise the Lord, Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai. according to his righteousness, and will sing praise to the name of Yahweh Shem Yahshai Most High. Okay, so that's what we put our hopes in. All right. Again, they're cutting food stamps, Medicaid in November. All right, it's illegal to be homeless in America, Babylon the Great now. So you Israelites, you have the opportunity to be priests of the earth, you men. All right, and to be delivered. All right, along with your families. You have to turn to the Most High, listen to the prophets of the Lord. They were great millstone. All right, that's where they at. Okay, all right, that's who the Lord is dealing with. Okay, so all you had to do is look at great millstone camps right now. All right, they've been prophesying this truth for years. Okay, so all of you who went out there to that No Kings rally, you all got played. All right, he's been given orders by the rich oligarchy in which he brought in. All right, these rich white men, they billionaires, right? All right, Elon Musk, all of those guys, right? To end America. They were brought in to end America as we know it. All right, to usher in a new world order, a police state, transhumanism. They want to put devices inside of you and make you part human, part. That's who we're dealing with here. Seriously. So they're ushering in transhumanism, merging man with machine. All right. Okay. All these prisons that they're coming out with. Okay. The Alligator Alcatraz detention centers across America. All right. And they got another one that they just opened over here in Louisiana. And all who do not comply, all right, with the new world order, the system of things, when they bring this digital ID, all that stuff out, they're going to be incarcerated. They're going to be put into detention camps. All right, that's their goal, to clean up America. All right, they're only for the rich. They're not for these lowly, no lowly people. They're for the rich. Period. All right. So unless you got $1 billion, you're out of the club. All right. Okay. And and this is including America. Just to make this clear, it ain't just for the people that are from other countries. It's going to come against American citizens. Okay. All right. And soon they're going to be requiring a digital ID. That's what's coming. All right. It's going to be tied to a digital wallet, and that's how you're going to be able to buy and sell. You're going to be forced to take this. You're going to be forced because all your money is going to be tied up in the bank. All right. Unless you pull it all out. Even then, if you pull it out, then if they change the currency, how you going to use it? How you going to use it? You understand? And this eventually is going to lead to the implant, the MOTB, the mark. All right. So with that being said, we'll go to Revelation 13 and 16. Revelation 13 and verse 16. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. All right. So this is coming. This is here now. It's spreading across the world, around the world. Everybody's coming forth and demanding you get this digital ID. It's in UK. They're demanding it in the UK. They're demanding it now in Mexico. Africa is also talking about it. Okay. I don't know how far they got. All right. All right. So the word has went out by the prophets of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai on the street corners all over America. All right, because that's where the deliverance is coming from, Babylon the Great. That's where deliverance is coming from. Okay, of the elect of Israel. All right, by way of the angels. All right, Yahweh Shai and the angels. Not going to be by ship, boat. It's going to be by the Yahweh Shai and the angels. Is going to deliver literally through through a divine intervention, is going to deliver the elect of Israel out of here. Okay? All right? All over the earth. Okay? So, I guess I'll read a little bit about that. Let's see. All right, so we'll go straight to the point. Matthew 24 and 31. And he shall send his angels. Highlight that. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four corners, from one end of heaven to the other. Okay? His elect. You catch that? His elect from the four winds. We were scattered to the four winds, all right, in servitude in other nations and so forth, to the north, east, south, west, you know. So you get it? All right. So let me read that again. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. All right. So that's pretty plain. All right. He ain't saving everybody. He's only saving the elect, chosen, the elect from amongst the Israelites. Okay. From amongst each tribe. You understand? None of us know. That's why we say we're the hopeful elect. We don't know if we're of the elect. We hope we are. All right? Okay? So the word which has been spoken all over the earth. The Lord was merciful. All right? All right? To send forth the prophets. All right? In the earth to teach the word the correct way. All right? All right? To reveal who the God of the Bible is. All right. So let's go to Jeremiah 7 and 25, which tells you this. Jeremiah 7 and 25, and it reads, since the day that your fathers came forth out of the land of Egypt unto this day, I have even sent unto you all my servants the prophets, daily, rising up early and sending them. So the prophets have always been amongst Israel, okay? Always, okay? And they were always risen up by the Most High, okay? Even to this very day, okay? He chose certain men to go out to the highways and hedges, and this was done in the 1960s until now, okay? All right, 350 years after servitude, the tribe of Judah being in servitude in America. Okay, 1619 to 1969, 70. All right. All right, and it's all documented in Revelation chapter 11. All right. So the seed descendants of Israel have been warned. Okay. The whole world has heard the message of the prophets. All right. And that's why the world's in an uproar. Oh, they don't love the white man. Oh, they're so evil and mean. Ooh, you know, okay. But the Lord says that we have to discern of who from the wicked and the righteous. All right, that's in let's see, can I find that? Is that Malachi or Malachi 3:18? Yeah, I think so. Hold on. Yeah. Let's see where I can start at. Okay, we'll start at 16. All right. Then they that feared the Lord spake often one to another. That's the men of GMS, the Great Millstone, and other like-minded camps. All right, they're making videos every day, day in, day out. All right, they're commenting on their videos. They're listening to other brothers. You see how that works? Then they that feared the Lord spake often one to another. You see that? The prophets. And the Lord hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that fear the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and that thought upon his name, which is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right, Yahweh in the name of Yahushai in Paleo Hebrew. And they shall be mine, saith the Lord of hosts, in that day when I will make up my jewels, and I will spare them as a man spareth his own son that serveth him. That's the deliverance. See, you're going to spare the men of the Lord. Okay, first and foremost. Then shall, this is the point, then shall ye return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serveth the Most High and him that serveth him not. So that's what you have to be able to do through the Holy Spirit. Okay, you have to be able to discern who's serving the Lord. All right, because the Lord was merciful and sent forth the prophets. All right, Romans chapter 10 and verses 14. And it reads, how then shall they call on him whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher? And how shall they preach except they be sent? As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace and bring glad tidings of good things. But they have not obeyed. They have not all obeyed the gospel. Verse 16, Salakia. For Isaiah saith, Lord, who has believed our report? Only the elect will believe the report. So then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of the Most High. But I say, this is the point, but I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily, their sound went into all the earth, and their words unto the ends of the world. Okay, so these words of the prophets have went all over the earth. Everybody knows who the Hebrew Israelites are. They either hate us or love us. Okay, but they know who we are. So the gospel has been preached in the whole earth. So the end is drawing close. Okay. All right, the end is drawing close. Let's go to Matthew, the 24th chapter, which tells you that. 24:13. All right. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. The prophets, the prophet who endures to the end, the men of the Lord, first and foremost. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. So the witnessing work went forth, a witness against this wicked kingdom of Esau, Edom. All right, a testimony had to be given. The words had to be spoken in public. All right, all right. We tell you every week in and week out, the so-called white man is the devil. He is Esau, Edom. The other nations going into slavery. Yahushua is a Negro from the tribe of Judah. We tell you all these things, but all of them are truth, no matter how hard you think they are. All right, but this is the truth. We can only tell you the truth. All right. So the witnessing work, the witness, great testimony had to be given in the earth before the Lord would bring forth and manifest the prophecies in the earth. Okay, and that's what has happened. That's what you're viewing. You're a front row seat to this the movie of the Most High. All right. All you got to do is track the prophecies and see what's going to happen next. All right. So the elect from amongst the seed of Jacob, or the Israelites, shall be the new government. They're going to make up the new government. All right. All right. So that's Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 6 and 7. For unto us is a child born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty Power, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and the peace there shall be no end, upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth even forever. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this. The Lord sent a word into Jacob, and it has lighted upon Israel. Okay? And that is what has happened. Okay? This word has rested upon the Israelites. Okay? All right, Daniel 2 and 44. All right. The other nations will never take part in rulership again when this happens. All right. And in the days of these kings, the four kings I mentioned earlier, Babylonians, Persians, and the Medes, the Greeks, which is a so-called white man, and the Romans, which are the so-called Greco-Roman, okay, Edomites, so-called white man, right? And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, okay, because it's going to be given to the seed line of Jacob, the Israelites. But it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. Okay? And this was a prophecy of Daniel thousands of years ago, and it's coming to pass. Okay? As we speak. All right? All right? Let's go to Daniel 7 and 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High. That's the so-called rulers, all right? Right now it's the Edomites, all right? And wear out the saints, put them in servitude, right? All right? All right? And shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and dividing of times. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and destroy it unto the end. So there is going to be an ending to the dominion and rulership of Esau, Edom. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven, the whole earth, planet earth, shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High. You hear that? It's going to be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions, all the nations shall serve and obey him, which would be Yahweh Shai, 144,000, King David, all right, the Israelites, okay? Who are the saints? Psalms chapter 148 and 14. All right. It says, he also exalted the horn. We'll start at 13. Salakia. Let them praise the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, for his name alone is excellent. His glory is above the earth and heaven. He also exhorteth the horn of his people, which are the Israelites, the horn being power, right? He also exalteth the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, a people near unto him, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So the saints are from the children of Israel, okay? All right. All right. It says here in Psalms 50 and 5, to just clarify that. Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. Okay? It doesn't say the whole world. The covenant was under the Israelites. Okay? That's it. All right? In the seed line from them, the seed-born children. Okay? All right. So Esau, Edom, the other nations that are not of the seed of Jacob, shall go into captivity, meaning slavery and servitude under the Israelites. Okay? That's the way the Lord has it set up. Okay? Revelation 13 and 19. 13 and 9. Revelation 13 and 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints, the so-called children of Israel, the saints. All right, you have to understand that. All right, so the saints have patiently been waiting, been put to death here in America, Babylon the Great around the world, and they have died. All right, and they're waiting for the Lord to bring forth the kingdom of heaven. Okay, that's what they're waiting for. Exodus. So there's no way out of it for Esau Edom. All right, he's the one that's gonna not receive any mercy. Okay, Exodus 21 and 16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him. Oh no, did that not happen? Did he not take the so-called Negro as slaves and property? Or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. That's written. All right. Okay, that is written, and it's not going to be changed. All right. All right. You have to understand that. Jeremiah 30 and verses. So all this trying to subdue Jacob, start a new world order, put the implant in Jacob and brand him so that the Lord will not deliver them is not going to work. Okay, it's not going to work. The elect is not going to bow to that idol, that chip, the RFID microchip that they want to put in everyone's hands after they get your digital biometrics. Okay, which is going into the digital ID. Jeremiah 30 and 16. Therefore, all they that devour thee, that devour the Israelites, okay, put them in servitude. All these nations had a hand in it. We read it in Psalms 83. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. Okay, so Esau Edom shall be judged for oppressing all 12 tribes. Okay, because we were both here in America. Okay, that's what a lot of you Christians and some of you Yah Israelites don't understand. Okay, Jeremiah 50 and 33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast and refused to let them go. All right, we would both be here in Babylon the Great. Okay, both. Okay, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom will be oppressed by the same enemy, which will be Esau Edom. All right, their Redeemer is strong. The Lord of hosts is his name. Verse 34. He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. So where would this happen? In Babylon. We know that the Lord did not return into ancient world to Iraq, back in the ancient world, and that way. Okay, all right. He didn't do that. They were actually freed. Okay, all right. But during our time. It's going to be through divine intervention. They're going to be delivered from Babylon. Okay? All right? All right. Jeremiah 49. Jeremiah 49 and 12 tells you also. For thus saith the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken, and art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? So you Israelites out there and Christians are saying that Esau is not going to be punished, that he's forgiven and all this stuff. The Lord just said he's not going to go unpunished. Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. He's going to drink of the cup of affliction that we drank. Okay, servitude, so forth. So I have sworn by myself, said the Lord, that Basra, that was the capital city of Edom, okay, shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste. All right. And wherever the Lord is talking about where they pitch their tents. All right. They're here in America now. I have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent unto the heathen, saying, gather ye together and come against her in battle, and rise up to battle. For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among men. Okay, so now with the testimony going out, people are looking at the so-called white man sideways. All right, they've heard the testimony and saying, damn, he did all that shit. Okay. You understand? He did all that. Okay, he did the deaths of the Native Americans, the so-called Negroes. He bombed all these lands. Okay, so the nations are looking at him sideways, and they're saying, hey, you know what? We want out from amongst this devil. And that's why they're pulling back. They're cashing in their bonds, and our dollar is getting weaker. We're at 11% now. Our dollar is 11%, has 11% reduction. Okay, gold is at $4,391. All right, the first time in history. So that is game over. Okay, a deadly wound has been given to America, Babylon the Great. Verse 16, thy terribleness have deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwelleth in the cliffs of the rock. They come from Petra over there in Jordan, Edom, okay, the Mount Seir. That's what the Lord gave them as a land, right? That's why the Lord is saying this. O thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock, that holdest the height of the hill. The height of the hill is America. They hold the height of the hill. Though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, all right, we know their symbol is the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord. Yahweh Shem Yahshua. So that is the judgment for Esau, Edom. It's a great judgment that's coming. All right, it's going to be total destruction upon them, right? And if you're joined unto them, you will share in the judgment. That's what the Lord is saying as well. Okay, let's go to Isaiah chapter 31. Right, you will share in that judgment. Is it 5? No, that's not it. Let's read up at the top. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. Okay, modern day Egypt is America. And stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. That's what we're telling you. Seek the Lord. Yet he also is wise and will bring evil and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers and against the help. Against the help of them that work iniquity. Now the Egyptians are men and not the Most High. Okay, he's telling you that the modern day Egyptians are not the Most High. Okay, that's Esau, Edom, right? They're the modern day Egyptians, right? Okay, all right. Now the Egyptians are men and not the Most High, and the horse is flesh and not spirit. When the Lord shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth, okay, you're helping them, you're trying to come against the prophets, shall fall, and he that hoping, you're hoping that, okay, you're hoping that the Israelites are wrong, shall fall down, and they shall all fail together. And that is prophecy. Okay, all right. So watch what you be saying out here on the internet, because the angels are listening. All right. All right. Hold on a second here. I'm going to read a few more for you. We started Psalms 55, 19 and 21. Salakia. Psalms 55, 19 through 21. Okay. This is how you would deceive in these marches and stuff like that. Okay, so because the Lord gave them the gift of deception. All right, He gave them the sword, the gift of the sword of war. Okay, that's why they got the Department of War today. They're coming out with it. That's what their blessing is. Psalms 55 and 19. The Most High shall hear and afflict them, even he that abideth of old, Selah, because they have no changes. They can't change. Okay, they deceive and they bring war. Okay, that's what the Edomite is. Okay, because they have no changes. Therefore they fear not the Most High. He has put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. Okay, the so-called Palestinians were at peace. The Negroes was at peace. The Native Americans was at peace. He has broken his covenant. All right, and he's deceiving. All right, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So in other words, he's talked these smooth words, but he has a plan, an alternate plan against you. Okay, that's what happened to a lot of these, even these lower level Edomites. They thought that, hey, we just get our ass kicked, so-called Negroes and stuff and all that, and they would just live the American dream all over again. It's funny, right? But it ain't gonna happen, right? Proverbs chapter 4 and 16. For they sleep not except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. But the path of the just is as the shining light that shineth more and more until the perfect day. All right, so the Lord is telling you how they are. All right, Hebrews. Okay, we're talking about the Edomites here. Hebrews chapter 12 and 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For ye know how that afterwards, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected, for he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. So there was no place of repentance. He ain't got no salvation. This was his heaven, okay? By conquering the other nations, by giving a blessing of the sword, the gift of war, okay? Okay, that's what he was given, and he did a great job of it. But the Lord did not say it was going to last forever. He said it was going to be a short season. If you go back to Revelation chapter 20, okay, and read that, it'd be a short season for them, okay, after they came back and revised the Roman Empire, all right, which is America, which rides on the back of NATO, the beast, all right, okay, all right, so they would form their Edomite supremacy and in the earth for a short season, okay? And we're in that short season, all right? They would covet fields, take them by violence, all right? All right, take down the Native Americans, conquer the Israelites, make them servants, and the rest is history. They would build Babylon the Great America, right? All right, let's go there real quick. This is their MO. That's what they do. Always. Micah 2 and verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds when the morning is light. They practice it because it's in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. So the Lord has got judgment planned for them. That's why World War III is going to be fought. That's why the Armageddon is coming. All right. All right. Let's read on. Verse 3. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, against this family, it's talking about a race of people, and that will be the Edomites, do I devise an evil from which ye shall not remove your necks. You're not going to get out of this. No matter what you do, you can round up as many brown people as you want. It ain't going to help. You're still going to get the judgment. Neither shall ye go heartily, for this time is evil. All right? So they're not going to get out of it. So all of you who think they're going to get out of it, it ain't going to happen. There's nothing you can do. It's written. All right? All right? It's written that Jacob is going to rule, all right, as kings and priests all the way from Exodus to Revelation. All right? They're going to rule as kings and priests of the earth. All right? So there's nothing you can do about it. All right? And let's go here to Psalms. All right. We'll end with Job. That's lucky. Let's see here. Job chapter 20. This lesson was meant for camp lesson, but I've been under the weather, so I'm doing it now. All right. Job chapter 20, verse 1. We'll start at verse 5. We'll start at 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumph of the wicked, we know who the wicked is. The wicked is Esau, Edom, all right, is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. All right, let's go back to, now I'll read that again, but let's go back to Malachi verses 1 to because I didn't show you that scripture. The burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi, to let you know that we're not lying. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Saith the Lord. Yet I love Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. All right, they did that during the Renaissance period. They're trying to do it again now with the New World Order. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them, listen carefully, the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord has indignation forever. Okay, so you see that? So we're not lying to you. Okay, we're telling you that they're the wicked of the earth. All right, and when you go back to Job, Job is telling you how they are as well, and tells you what's going to happen as well. Job chapter 20, verse 1. All right, this is he's telling you up front. Knowest thou not, Job 20 and 4, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite for a moment? Though his excellency mount up to heavens, all right, they're on top right now, okay, all right, and his head reaches unto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? He shall fly away as a dream, and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him. His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. His bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. Though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue, though he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth. All right, that is telling you how his deception is. Yet his meat in his bowels is turned. It is the gall of ass within him. He has swallowed down riches. Okay, they conquered all these nations, took their wealth. All right, and he shall vomit them up again. The Most High shall cast him out of his belly. He shall suck the poison of ass. The viper's tongue shall slay him. He shall not see the rivers, the floods, the brooks of honey and butter. That's the kingdom of heaven. All right. He's not going to share in it. He's going to be at the bottom. That which he labored for, shall he restore, and he shall swallow it down. According to, let me read that again, Salaki. Verse 18, that which he labored for, okay, he conquered and colonized everyone, shall he restore and shall not swallow it down. In other words, he's not going to hold on to it. He's going to be taken out of power. According to his substance, okay, all the resources he took, shall the restitution be. All right, restitution, he's going to have to pay back. And he shall not rejoice therein. And what is the reason for all this? Because he is oppressed and has forsaken the poor, because he has violently taken away an house which he builded not. Can you see who Esau Edom is now? If you can't, I can't help you anymore. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall save of that. He shall not save of that which he desired. There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. This wicked is the laborers. When you look it up in the Old Testament Hebrew, okay, it means the laborers. All right, the wicked shall come upon him. All these laborers out here, these people are going to be on them. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. He shall flee from the iron weapon. Okay, that's telling you this is a nuclear destruction. And the bow of steel shall strike him through. It is drawn and cometh out of the body being the silos in the ground, the silos on the submarines and the ships. Yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. All darkness shall be hid in secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. That's the nuclear fire. Fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. The tabernacle being your body. You know, he's going to be blown to pieces. It's going to go ill with them. The heavens shall reveal his iniquity. The heaven being the Israelites, the prophets. All right. The heavens shall reveal his iniquity. The prophets on the highways and byways. All right. Giving the testimony. And the earth shall rise up against him. And that's what's happening. All right. The increase of his house shall depart of Edom. The increase of their house, the house of Edom, shall depart, and his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath. All right, of the day of the Lord's wrath. This is the portion, because it's going to be over with when they launch the missiles. This is the portion of a wicked man from the Most High, and the heritage appointed him unto him by the Most High. So the fierce king, in which the Lord is speaking of in Isaiah 19:4, is bringing the end of America. Shalom.